Hey guys, welcome to this video. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for pressing play. In the words of my son Ryan, who's in the second grade, I'll ask him and say, "How was your day at school, son?" He'll turn, he'll look at me and say, "Dad, I had a beautiful, phenomenal day." I said, "That's what I'm talking about." So I'm hoping you guys having a blessed day on purpose. In regards to my wife Veronica and I, we're doing better than good and better than most. And so I simply want to make this quick video, guys, just to share with you a partnership that we just made to add additional financial education services to be able to promote our cause, Project 5000. Most of you guys in this group, you are aware that we have a social cause by that name, Project 5000. Very simple. We want to provide an affordable, attainable financial and real estate education to individuals all across the country with a very special interest to the urban communities and low-income students. And so we all know that when we're able to have a financial education that allows us to have high credit scores, low debt, allow us to be able to have cash left over at the end of the month, opposed to having more bills left over at the end of the month. So now we got more cash left over so we can do some investment in some businesses. So when we're able to own and control the land and resources in our own community, we could create more businesses. These businesses, when we go and we support the business, and the business actually provide a good customer service, the product or service that they're going to provide to us, then now they're in a positive cash flow. Now they're able to go out and hire more employees. So now we have livable wage jobs that's sustainable, that's being created in our communities, and that's going to slow down the violence and slow down the poverty level in our communities. Why? Because it doesn't make sense to go out and sell drugs and commit crimes when you're earning a livable wage. So that's the mindset that we are with Project 5000. And when we provide 5,000 people with an affordable education and financial education in real estate and financial, then now they are in position to purchase their first home. Now they're in a position to be able to start to invest in real estate with us, right? So you guys know, we started myrealestatetrainingpro.com, where we teach people how to flip houses without even using their own cash or credit. But one thing we realize as mortgage lenders, we do fix and flip loans all the time. We do FHA loans, 2 or 3K loans, VA, conventional, RD, etc. And credit score is a big deal. It's a big part of buying a home. You have to have a decent credit score. So one of my mentors told me, he said, "Randy, yes, cash is king, but credit is power." Cash is king, but credit is power. Remember that the song Jay-Z made, right, not too long ago? You want to know why the Jews are buying up all the land and all the property? Credit. Exactly. That's it. So you could be broke, busted, and disgusted, guys, and if you have a high credit score, you can leverage your way out of poverty. You can leverage your way out of poverty with high credit scores. So wealthy people, guys, here's a rule of the wealthy. Wealthy people typically don't use their own money. They use OPM, other people's money. They use the bank's money. They don't use their own money. And how they able to use the bank's money? Credit. Right now, credit is like a vital sign. It's being monitored all the time. Did you know when you go and apply for a job that most likely you're going to have your credit pulled to see your character? So your character is being built upon the premise of how your credit score is. Did you know if you go into a new position in your current job, you go into a new level, you're making more money, they may very well pull your credit. Insurances, auto insurance, it's geared towards, most of the time, your credit. So it's very, very important. So my thing is, hey, if we could get, you might not have no money. You might be living paycheck to paycheck. Hopefully you do got some money. If you've been watching these videos and following us, you're getting out of that, right? So if you live in paycheck to paycheck, just over broke, right? But you got high credit scores, now you can do some things. Let me give you an example. I have a business partner of mine. He's a hard money lender, a private lender, be more specific. And he have a business credit line of over $500,000. So what he do, he take his credit line and he invest in investors like myself and our group and other people around the city. His credit line only costs him 3 to 5% interest. It's revolving. But when he lend money out, he lending money out at 12% interest, sometime at 15% interest with 4 origination points. Get that. So he's making a spread between the 3 to 4%, 3 to 5% that he paying to the bank for the credit line. And then on top of that, he's making that spread, between that and what he's charging to buy. And his money is backed by real estate. And he only lended like 60% of the ARV, sometimes 70% of the ARV. So he's protected. But he's leveraging other people's money, and that's what most wealthy people do. So I say all that to say this. By my wife and I being mortgage lenders, we come across people with credit challenges. So we typically give them the blueprint. We know exactly what the underwriter is looking for them to get their credit together. We know what the underwriter is looking for them to be approved. So we tell them exactly do A, B, C, and D. But the problem is we just don't have enough time in the day to sit on the phone and coach everybody, right? So we had a recent program that it was a 10-module course that you could listen to, take some notes, pause and rewind. But the course was more of a do-it-yourself course once you learn it. And a lot of people are busy. They didn't have the time to move forward with, printing the letters, creating the letters, etc. So we decided we wanted something more efficient, something more that we can serve the community more and actually solve the problems that we have. So we partnered with a company called Financial Education Services, and they've been around since 2004. They have a system in place to getting inaccurate, unverified items off the credit report, and even erroneous items off the credit report. I mean, items such as repossession, foreclosures, bankruptcy, late payments, inquiries, etc. And so they use the credit attorneys that's in-house, credit attorneys that's working with them, I should say. And the credit attorneys look at the credit, pull the credit, will look at it, determine what items that they can move forward with based on the credit laws. And so to give you an example what that looks like, let's say that you have a creditor that actually went out of business 2 years ago, or you had another one that went out of business 10 years ago. And so by law, any debt that's on your credit report has to be verified. So when you dispute that and say, hey, listen, I need you to verify this debt, and then the credit bureau go out and reach out and call that creditor that went out of business 2 years ago or 10 years ago, they're gonna hear something like this. Sorry, this number has been disconnected. Whoa. Now, the credit bureaus can't get in touch with their original creditor. So if there's no business, there's no debt, right? And so now the company's out of business. They can't verify the items, and by law, 30 to 45 days, it has to be deleted off the credit report. So that's how things come off the credit report legally through the law. It makes sense. If you're not in business no more, how can you hold this over my head and destroy my credit? That makes sense. So not only that, we help clean up the credit in regards to credit restoration, but we also have a credit builder that's in this membership. It's a protection membership, right? So we have the credit restoration, we have the credit builder. We're teaching people how to build the credit, how to sustain it. Secondly, we have LifeLock that's in this membership, because every 2 seconds identity is being stolen. So the last thing we want to do is get your credit scores up, and then all of a sudden your identity is stolen, then your credit score is back down again, and we got to fight through that again. So the membership have a multitude, guys, a multitude of benefits. I just don't have time to go in this video, but if you look above this video or below this video, I'm gonna have a couple of links that you could click on to get some more information about our protection plan and why this may be a benefit to you or somebody you know. Now, having said that, let me tie all this into real estate and what we're doing. Well, as a real estate investor, what we teach in our class is that you gotta have an exit strategy. Is your exit strategy to buy, rehab the property, and hold it for cash flow as a landlord? Or are you buying, rehabbing the property, and flipping it? If you're flipping it, then you need a pipeline of qualified buyers that have strong credit scores, right? Great debt to income ratios and cash in the bank. So a lot of times we have people that their debt to income ratio is pretty good, anywhere between 43 and 50%. They have the money to put down, right? If they're doing an FHA loan, all they need is 3.5% down. That's it. If it's a VA loan, it's 100% financing. If it's a RD loan in a rural development area, that's a 100% financing, right? So they just need the credit, basically. But what if you can have a pipeline of individuals that's getting their credit score worked on? So as you rehabbing properties, the potential buyers are getting their credit rehab at the same time, right? And so now you're in a position that you can sell that property, exit out of that property as quick as possible. So guys, it's not about getting into real estate. It's how fast you could get out of real estate. That is the key. I'm gonna say that again. It's not how you get into real estate, it's how quickly you get out of the real estate. That's it. And so how we look at it and say, listen, if we want to create 5,000 homeowners, and we want to create a multitude of investors, teach them, train them, mentor how to invest in the properties, how to find these deals, how to talk to the motivated sellers, how to evaluate the property, how to negotiate with the seller, how to write the contract where it protects themselves just in case they need to leave out of the contract, how to evaluate the construction costs, the rehab costs, etc. We teach all these things, we mentor all these things. But what if, imagine for a moment, we have buyers already lined up. So guys, when my wife and I flipped our first property right after Hurricane Katrina, as we was rehabbing it, we had a buyer already lined up. The buyer was already in position. That's how you want to be. That's an exit strategy. So as we move forward with our social cause, Project 5000, we already have boots on the ground in Chicago. Brother Ro Davis is doing a phenomenal job out there. He's the visionary of Project 5000. They are bringing credit education and financial education service to Chicago, to Houston, to Dallas. We got boots on the ground, key people in Indianapolis. So I say all this to say this. I'm looking for some motivated people who want to run with us. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you want to make you some money, if you want to start learning how to invest in real estate, if you want to get your credit score high, if you want to help others, then let's lock arms and go make something magical. Period, point blank. Because at the end of the day, guys, cash is king, but credit is power.